Go look in a mirror right now. If there is one nearby, go stand in front of it. Look at your face. Look at the person staring back at you. That face, those eyes, that expression. You have seen it thousands of times, tens of thousands. Every morning when you brush your teeth, every time you check your hair, every time you catch your reflection in a shop window, that is you. That is your face. That is what you look like, except it is not. That face in the mirror, the one you have been looking at your entire life, the one you think you know better than any other face in the world, that face does not exist. No one has ever seen it. No one ever will. It is a fiction, a trick, an illusion created by photons bouncing off glass. The person you see in the mirror is a stranger, and today I am going to show you why. This is not philosophy, this is not wordplay, this is physics, hard, cold, measurable physics. And when you understand what a mirror actually does, when you understand what light actually shows you, you will realize that you have never, not once in your entire life, seen your own face. Let me start with something simple. Let me start with how mirrors work. You look in a mirror. Light bounces off your face, travels to the mirror, bounces off the mirror, and comes back to your eyes. Simple, elementary school science. Angle of incidence equals angle of reflection. A flat mirror creates a virtual image behind the glass, the same size as the object, the same distance behind the mirror as the object is in front. But here is the thing nobody tells you. Here is the part that changes everything. The image is reversed. You know this already in a shallow way. You know that if you raise your right hand, the person in the mirror raises what appears to be their left hand. You know that writing looks backwards in a mirror. You know that ambulances have their names written in reverse so they appear correct in your rear view mirror. But you have never thought about what this means for your face. Your face is not symmetrical. Nobody's face is symmetrical. Your left eye is slightly different from your right eye. Your left eyebrow has a different shape than your right eyebrow. One nostril is bigger than the other. One side of your mouth curves differently when you smile. There is a mole on one side that is not on the other, a scar, a wrinkle, a subtle difference in the way your cheekbones sit. These differences are small. You do not notice them consciously, but they are there, and they add up to something profound. The face in the mirror is your face flipped horizontally. Left becomes right, right becomes left. Every asymmetry is reversed. Every tiny imbalance is swapped to the opposite side. The face you see every morning is a mirror image of your real face. It is your face but backwards. And here is the disturbing part. When other people look at you, they do not see the mirror image. They see the real thing. They see your actual face, unreversed, with all the asymmetries in their true positions. Other people have seen your real face thousands of times. Your mother has seen it. Your friends have seen it. Strangers on the street have seen it. Everyone who has ever looked at you has seen your actual face. Everyone except you. You are the only person on earth who has never seen your own face. Let me show you how strange this really is. Find a photograph of yourself, not a selfie taken with a phone camera, because many phones automatically flip the image to match what you see in mirrors. Find an old photograph or a photo taken by someone else where you are looking at the real unflipped image of your face. Look at it carefully. Does it look slightly wrong? Does something feel off? Do you look different than you expected, different than you remember from the mirror? Most people experience this. Most people feel uncomfortable looking at unflipped photographs of themselves. They say the photo does not look like them. They say it is a bad picture. They say the camera adds weight or distorts their features. But the camera is not lying. The photograph is showing you what everyone else sees. The photograph is showing you your real face. You just do not recognize it. You have spent your entire life looking at a reversed version of yourself. Your brain has learned that version. That is your identity. That is the face you think of when you think of yourself. And the real face, the face everyone else knows, looks like a stranger. There was an experiment done years ago. Researchers took photographs of people and created two versions. One was the normal photograph showing the real face. The other was flipped horizontally to show the mirror image face. They showed both versions to the subjects and asked which one they preferred. Which face do you like better? The subjects consistently preferred the mirror image. They said it looked more attractive, more natural, more like them. Then the researchers showed both versions to the subjects, friends, and family. Which face do you prefer? The friends and family consistently preferred the real photograph. They said it looked more natural, more like the person they knew. Each group preferred the version they were familiar with. The subjects preferred the mirror face because that is what they saw every day. The friends preferred the real face because that is what they saw every day. Neither group was wrong. They were just looking at different people. Now I want to go deeper. I want to show you that the problem is not just the reversal. The problem is much more fundamental than that. Let me ask you a question that seems simple, but is actually very strange. When you look in a mirror, why does it flip left and right, but not up and down? Think about this. The mirror reverses your left and right. Your right hand appears on the left side of the image, but the mirror does not reverse up and down. Your head is still at the top. Your feet are still at the bottom. You are not standing on your head in the reflection. Why? What is special about left and right? Why does the mirror treat the horizontal axis differently than the vertical axis? Is there something magical about sideways? This question has confused people for centuries. It confused Plato. It confused philosophers in the Middle Ages. It continues to confuse students today. It seems like there should be a simple answer, but every simple answer turns out to be wrong. Some people say it is because we have two eyes arranged horizontally, but that cannot be right. Close one eye and look in the mirror. The reversal is still there. Use a camera with one lens. The reversal is still there. The number and arrangement of eyes has nothing to do with it. Some people say it is because we are bilaterally symmetrical, with left and right sides that are almost mirror images of each other. But that cannot be the whole story either. A chair is not bilaterally symmetrical, and a mirror still reverses it left to right. So what is actually happening? Here is the truth, and I want you to follow this carefully because it will change how you see mirrors forever. The mirror is not reversing left and right. The mirror is reversing front and back. When you stand in front of a mirror facing it, the mirror creates an image of you that is facing back toward you. Your nose, which points forward, now points backward toward your real face. Your back, which faces away from the mirror, now faces away from your reflection. The mirror has taken you and flipped you through yourself, front to back. It has created a version of you that is inside out, along the axis, perpendicular to the mirror surface. So why do we perceive this as a left-right reversal? Because of how we think about the image. Because of how we mentally rotate the reflection to compare it to ourselves. When you look at your reflection, you instinctively imagine walking around to stand where the reflection is standing, facing the same direction it is facing. You mentally rotate yourself 180 degrees to match the reflection's orientation. And here is the key. There are two ways to rotate 180 degrees. You can turn around like a human normally would, spinning on a vertical axis, keeping your head up and your feet down. Or you can flip over like a pancake, spinning on a horizontal axis, putting your head where your feet were. Humans always imagine the first rotation. We always imagine turning around, not flipping over. We keep our heads up. It is how our bodies work. It is how we navigate the world. But when you mentally rotate by turning around left and right, swap places. What was on your left is now on your right. What was on your right is now on your left. The mirror did not swap left and right. Your mental rotation did. The mirror just flipped front and back. Your brain, trying to make sense of the image, did a mental rotation that happened to swap left and right as a side effect. If humans flipped over like pancakes instead of turning around, we would perceive mirrors as flipping up and down, not left and right. The mirror would be doing the exact same thing, only our interpretation would change. This is the first disturbing truth about mirrors. What you see is not simply what is there. What you see is what is there, processed through the assumptions and habits of your mind. The mirror shows you physics. Your brain shows you something else. But there is another layer, another level of deception. The image in the mirror is not just reversed. It is also flat. Your face is a three-dimensional object. It has depth. Your nose sticks out. Your eyes are set back in their sockets. Your cheekbones create shadows. The curves and contours of your face exist in 3 dimensions. But the image in the mirror has no depth. It is a 2-dimensional representation projected onto a flat surface. All the depth information is compressed, flattened, reduced to a plane of light. This is why mirrors lie about how you look. When someone stands in front of you and looks at your face, they see it in 3 dimensions. They see how your nose casts a shadow at different angles. They see how your face changes as they move slightly to the left or right. They perceive the depth, the solidity, the 3-dimensional reality of your features. The mirror cannot show you this. The mirror shows you a flat picture, a frozen perspective, a single angle locked in place. This is why people often feel they look different in mirrors than they do in real life. This is why mirrors are not reliable judges of attractiveness. The mirror gives you a flat, reversed, single-angle view that no other human being ever sees. When someone looks at you, they see a 3-dimensional face in motion, expressions shifting, light changing, angles varying as they move and you move. A living, breathing, dynamic face. The mirror shows you a frozen ghost. Now let me tell you about the physics that makes this even stranger. Let me tell you what is actually happening when light bounces off that glass. You think a mirror is a simple thing. Light comes in, light bounces out, like a ball bouncing off a wall. Simple mechanics. But that is not what is happening at all. When a photon of light hits a mirror, it does not bounce. It is absorbed. The photon that left your face does not return to your eye. That photon is gone. It has been swallowed by the electrons in the metal coating behind the glass. What comes back to your eye is a completely different photon, a new photon created by those excited electrons as they release the energy they just absorbed. A fresh particle of light that never touched your face, that has no memory of your face, that knows nothing about you. The light you see in the mirror is not reflected light. It is re-emitted light. It is new light pretending to be old light. Every photon that reaches your eye from that mirror is a stranger. It was born in the atoms of aluminum or silver behind the glass, and it is traveling toward you for the first time. It carries information about your face, yes, but it has never been to your face. It is a messenger that has never met the person it is describing. This is what you are looking at when you look in a mirror. You are looking at billions of tiny messengers, each one born in that moment, each one a copy of a copy, each one telling you about a face it has never seen. The reflection is not your face. The reflection is a story about your face, told by particles that do not know you. And here is where it becomes truly strange. Here is where physics breaks your intuition completely. Those photons, the ones leaving your face and traveling toward the mirror, they do not travel in straight lines. Not really, not at the quantum level. In quantum electrodynamics, we learn that a photon does not take a single path from point A to point B. It takes every possible path, every conceivable route through space. It goes left, it goes right, it loops around, it spirals, it takes paths that make no sense at all. All of these paths happen simultaneously. The photon is everywhere and nowhere until it is detected. And the final behavior we observe, the straight line we think we see, that is just the average. That is just the result of all those crazy paths interfering with each other, canceling out in some places, adding up in others. When you look in a mirror, the image you see is not created by photons bouncing in neat, predictable angles. The image you see is created by quantum interference, by probability waves overlapping, by the strange mathematics of amplitudes and phases that govern the subatomic world. The face in the mirror is a quantum ghost. It exists only because certain probabilities added up correctly. Change the conditions slightly, alter the quantum phases, and the image would blur or shift or disappear entirely. You think you are seeing something solid and real. You think you are seeing yourself. But what you are seeing is a probability, a statistical outcome, a momentary agreement among billions of quantum events that just happen to produce a coherent picture in this particular instant. The mirror does not show you your face. The mirror shows you what the quantum world has voted to display. So let me tell you what you have actually been looking at all these years. You have been looking at a reverse image, left swapped with right, every asymmetry backwards. You have been looking at a flat image, 3 dimensions crushed into 2. You have been looking at a single angle, frozen, static, nothing like how others see you in motion. You have been looking at re-emitted light, new photons pretending to be old ones. You have been looking at a quantum probability, an interference pattern, a ghost made of statistics, and you have been calling this thing your face. But it is not your face. It has never been your face. It is a translation of your face into a language that photons and glass and your visual cortex have negotiated among themselves. It is a representation, not a reality. The face that your mother knows, the face that your friends know, the face that strangers see when you walk down the street. You have never seen that face. You cannot see it. You have no access to it. It exists only in other people's perception. You live your entire life inside a body, behind a face, and that face is the one thing you can never truly witness. There is something beautiful in this, something humbling. You are unknown to yourself. The most intimate thing, the thing that identifies you to the world, the thing that expresses every emotion you feel, that face lives entirely in the experience of others. It belongs to them more than it belongs to you. Every time someone looks at you, they see something you have never seen. They hold a piece of you that you cannot access. They know your face better than you do. And every time you look in a mirror, you see a stranger who looks almost like you, close enough to fool you, close enough that you have spent a lifetime thinking it was you, but it is not. The mirror shows you light arranged in patterns. The mirror shows you physics and probability and quantum mechanics pretending to be a human being. The mirror shows you a story about a face, but it does not show you your face. It never has. So tomorrow morning, when you stand in front of that glass and look at that familiar stranger, I want you to remember what you are actually seeing. You are seeing photons that never touched you. You are seeing an image that is reversed and flattened and frozen. You are seeing a quantum interference pattern that exists only for an instant before it is replaced by another. You are seeing a beautiful, elaborate, physics-based lie. And somewhere out there, walking through the world, is your real face. The one everyone else knows, the one you will never meet. That is the truth about mirrors. That is what you actually see.